Hello, hi, this is Just Drew with a video for new players joining Foxhole. Uh, in the previous video, I showed you the grenade launcher and how to become a little bit more effective in frontline combat. Uh, Another way of becoming more effective is basically not dying is kind of handy. And often you see new players running off to the front. With equipment, but no medical, well, no understanding of how medicine works in the game. So what I'll show you is, I'll show you the medicine or medic options that you've got. Now, from my experience, it's always wise to take two people who are designated medics within, say, an 8-man team. You may even want to take, more than that, but two's usually enough. But how you use medicine in the game is really quite straightforward, and just understanding this stuff can and will keep you and your comrades alive, and it'll mean that you can get back home and you can tell lots of war stories to your friends um, without getting killed on the battlefield. So we'll quickly look at the logistics side of medicine first for the logistics guys who are watching. So if we click on the map icon again, on the M key, we can see there's a hospital over to the west. So if we head over there, I've cheated a little bit. I've actually put some medicine supplies in, and so they should be ready for us by now. But the hospitals that you'll see here, when the game starts, this hospital is actually in a destroyed state. This actually needs to be rebuilt, and I'll show you that in a different video. But somebody's been kind enough to actually rebuild the hospital to allow us to obtain our medical supplies from these buildings. So let's have a quick look. So if we press E, okay, you can see here, look, that I've requested the 3 different medical options that you've got in the game at the moment. So if we click on pick up order, okay, great. Right, let's take these back to the town hall. You may have noticed as well in the hospital there was no tech level. Hospitals don't have a tech level at the moment. I don't know if that's going to be part of the game or not. I don't know. But at the moment we're able to access bandages, first aid kits, and trauma kits right from the get-go. So let's get these supplies into the town hall, then I'll show you how each of them works. So once again, right click, put the supplies, that's bandages, trauma kits and first aid kits. Submit, and they've appeared over here. Okay, so I'll quickly go through them, each one of them, and I'll try and explain which ones I think are probably wise for the new player to consider carrying in the first instance. So bandages, these, as they say, stem the bleeding. So there's different ways of dying. In fact, there's lots of ways of dying in this game, but usually there's the straight out, getting shot, getting killed straight away, with no option of recovery. Another option is where you get critically wounded and you lie on the floor and then usually get executed by enemy soldiers as they run past, laughing at you. And then the third way, the most annoying way, is when you get shot and you start bleeding, and you see that on your character. You'll see the red blood kind of oozing out of your body, and in that instance, you've got about, I don't know, 30 seconds of that, and in that time, somebody needs to heal you, or you need to heal yourself. So to heal yourself, you use bandages, and bandages only apply when you're bleeding. So you're in this third kind of mortally wounded state where you're going to bleed to death, basically, and a bandage is required. The first aid kit, this is where you heal other soldiers. So you can get injured in battle, and that's where you're not bleeding out, you're not lying on the floor with no legs, you're still running around, but you're blooded. In that state, you need the first aid kit. I'll show you how to use that in a moment. And the third option you've got is the trauma kit. So this is where you've got critically wounded soldiers lying on the floor, screaming for their mama, and they are going to die. And a counter, you'll see a counter by the side of them as it goes down. And you, if you are the medic, need to get to that person before they die. Okay, so let's see how these get equipped. So bandages first. If you equip them, they're equipping your third slot. The way it works is if you get a bleed, you need to be stood up. You need to press the 3 key to get the bandages out, and then just left click. And you will, if I'd got one of my friends here, they could probably shoot me. But yeah, if you left click on yourself, you'll stop the bleed. So bear in mind they're quite easy and cheap to make, and you get quite a lot of them. There's 20 there. That's not a bad idea for a new player as well, to consider taking a bandage with them. So bear that one in mind. If you want to play the role of a medic though, then I would suggest the first aid kit is probably the way to go. Like I say, this is so that equips in your third slot as well. Press 3 to bring it up. You need to walk up to the player who's blooded, also bleeding as well. If you get another player who's bleeding, you can actually stem the bleed with the first aid kit as well. It's a really, really handy piece of kit if you want to play the medic role. And the final one is the trauma kit. Now you'll notice that this thing goes in your first weapon slot, which means you don't have access to a rifle. And also it's very heavy as well, this. So don't take one of those unless you are taken the role of a medic completely. Often medics go into combat with just a revolver or a pistol, and the 2 medic kits that I've got equipped, that's what they often do. But just bear in mind it's quite a heavy piece of kit. So that you would use when somebody's lying on the floor in front of you, asking for assistance. That can get quite hairy when you use that, because obviously when that person gets hit, they're normally under enemy fire, so you got to assess whether or not it's worthwhile risking the life of the medic to save somebody in that kind of situation. But you'll learn that as you play. But they're the 3 medicine options. So bandages to stem your own bleeds and not die annoyingly. First aid kits to help other players and rack up the commends. And also keep your squad alive. This is important when you go on the front line for the first time. So ask around who's got the first aid kit, and if nobody's got the first aid kit, my suggestion would be not to go forward and wait until you've got somebody who's designated a medic. It's very easy to die in this game, and having somebody there who's got the opportunity to save your life is very valuable within a squad. Okay, so that's medics, basic medics. I've not shown it you in action, but as a new player, that's what the 3 medicine options do, and some ideas on how maybe you could use them when you first enter the game. Okay, I hope that's useful. I'll catch you on the front line. Just Drew signing out.